2018 was one hell of a year. Alright, so 2018 had some ups.
Yeah, this is America.
And some downs.
Male energy.
Don't worry, I'm gonna stick to movies. From unprecedented comic book spectacle to smaller, quirky stop-motion flicks. I probably watched more movies this year than ever before, partially thanks now to the essentially useless Movie Pass. Alright, so let's get into the top. But for now, here are my favorite films of 2018. There were so many great documentaries this year, it's insane. There were 3 that blew me away specifically, and all 3 were snubbed by this year's Oscars nominations. Won't You Be My Neighbor, 3 Identical Strangers, and American Animals. And personally, I would have given the award to American Animals. This film used editing techniques to blend narrative and documentary forms that was so stylistic and yet still compelling and dramatic. I've never been swept away by such a seemingly silly story so quickly. Some college kids try to steal some books? Sure, go. There were 2 films this year whose stories centered around a murder mystery and told in wholly unique ways. One told its story exclusively through various technological screens like computers and cell phones, and the other through clever editing and flashbacks. Those 2 films, Searching and Bad Times at the El Royale. However, only Bad Times stuck with me as not only an engaging thriller, but also a beautifully photographed film. I'm a sucker for symmetry. Bad Times at the El Royale was an unforgettable experience filled with unforgettable performances from Jeff Bridges and especially Cynthia Erivo, who has an incredible one-take singing scene that's just... Searching is tense and eventually heartwarming. But Bad Times is just that sweet-tooth fun time that might also provoke some thinking in the moviegoer. It takes a really compelling story for me to suspend my disbelief in horror films, and I realize I'm saying that I was a fan of superhero and Star Wars movies, but this year's Hereditary was the one to win over the darkest corners of my nerd heart. It could have been the score, it could have been the direction, or it could have been the performances from leads Alex Wolff and Toni Collette especially. Whatever the formula, all the pieces seem to fall together to create one scary-ass meditation on genetic diseases and psychology under the disguise of something much more sinister. Highly recommend for anyone not looking for excessive gore or jump scares. Now this one might be a bit controversial as there were several amazing blockbuster action-packed comic book films, but the coolest, makes me want to learn kung fu action movie of the year has to be Upgrade. Many have called it the better version of Venom, which isn't wrong. The fight scenes in this film are shot in a way that rivals The Matrix, and the lead, played by Logan Marshall Green, he absolutely kills it, physically and emotionally. You know, it's kind of ironic that he's called the poor man's Tom Hardy, especially this year when they both came out with movies about a symbiotic relationship with a higher intelligence that can make them do cool action stunts. Upgrade is better. Cool, clear water. This one was super easy for me. I have a very weird sense of humor, and while there was ultimately some forgettable fanfare like Blockers, Game Night, or it's even less so Tag, but for me, the only real contender is The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I could put this film on anytime and get a wide range of comedic sensibilities, from cartoons to satire, and of course it's got that touch of classic Coen Brothers brand darkness. I'm not gonna bury the lead on this one. It's Roma, nominated for 10 Oscars, This Netflix production was written, directed, and shot by Alfonso Cuarón. Also starring in her first acting role ever, Yalitza Aparicio absolutely crushes this performance and is rightfully been nominated for Best Actress. And honestly, I hope this film wins all of its awards, if only to give voice to Latinx and indigenous representation in a time where our sad, orange-faced, racist excuse for president. Okay. Producer says I can't get political. I know I said at the top I was going to stick to movies. I apologize. That's why my next pick is BlacKkKlansman. When I first heard about Spike Lee's newest joint starring Kylo Ren and Denzel Washington's son infiltrating the KKK, headed by Eric Foreman, I knew it was going to be special. The film is set during and inspired by true events in the 1970s, but in classic Spike style, he connects the story's plot to contemporary campaigns and the modern sicknesses of society. I joked earlier, but John David Washington, Adam Driver, and Topher Grace give outstanding performances that all fit perfectly inside of a Spike Lee film. Plus, you'll never get this funky guitar riff out of your head.
Hey, listen, I quit.
Let's talk about nostalgia. Love it or hate it, Hollywood leans on nostalgia.
Break out the new equipment! Ghost trap set. Ecto goggles down. Ghostbusters!
So it can be used as a gimmicky cash grab, as we all know, especially in the last decades, since 80s kids now have kids of their own, along with disposable income. But nothing could be further from the truth for mid-90s. This is Jonah Hill's directorial debut, and in my humble 90s kid opinion, he nails it. Hill tackles 90s nostalgia with a deft hand. His attention to detail is astounding, from costume design to the film's aspect ratio. Mid-90s really hit home for me, and it was probably 90% because of Super Nintendo.
Hey, listen, I quit.
There's been some sentimental films in this list and some frightening films in this list, but one that balances both of those aspects has to be the thriller that went completely under everyone's radar, the aptly titled You Were Never Really Here. I don't know why I'm so drawn to dark character study story arcs like Taxi Driver, but last year's similar standout was Good Times, which I highly recommend. This year, it's Lynn Ramsey's heartbreaking vengeance tale starring one of our generation's greatest, Joaquin Phoenix. Stoked for the Joker, but still haven't seen the trailer. This film is almost hard to watch for thematic reasons, but also rarely shows the violence. And this hopefully sends a message to Hollywood showing that female directors can obviously be just as gruesome yet tasteful as any male director. This is it, my number one movie, in a list that wasn't ranked greatest to worst or in any real order, but here you go. SpiderMan Into the Spider-Verse. If any of you saw the advertisements for this film and thought, I don't want to see this movie, it's a cartoon. First off, grow up, animation is for everyone. Secondly, this is animation at its finest and might not have been this innovative since Toy Story. A diverse cast, unique sci-fi premise, and a superbly stylized art direction that makes this the best animated movie of this year, many years. So good it could have been nominated for Best Picture, but I'll take the animated nom. Alright, so that's my list of favorite movies of 2018. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, or should I do more of these? If I missed any, what your favorite films were. It doesn't have to be from 2018. One of my favorite films that I watched last year was from 2016 called Train to Busan. It made me cry. It's a zombie movie. But yeah, anyway, let me know, and here's a list of my honorable mentions.